So basically, and I've learned to do this in my home. I mean, we have Pandora linked into our Google speaker in our living room. We can ask for music. We actually send it into the big speakers of our TV now. I mean, it's an interesting world where you can, I can do the same thing now, Guy. I can ask them to hear your news in the morning. And do you arrange it, guys, so the most important stories are first? I mean, are you setting up like a playlist every day, or is this just dynamic coming up in order of how you publish it, Guy?
Good question. So what we're doing right now is we track everything we do, the performance of every article through our analytics pages. And then we curate and determine what is trending and what we think people want to hear at this point. Our next step, so that's how we push it. So our top 5 articles, we might, depending upon the subject matter, push through to our podcast and subsequent distribution channels. Where I want to go with this is when we start categorizing everything so people can eventually subscribe to the topics that they prefer, whether that's local news, events.
That's what I was going to, yeah, that's where I was heading.
That's where we want to go with
lifestyle, whatever you want to do, exactly. School board. And if a special event happens in your town, like a county fair, you could have live feeds every day. I mean, God forbid we get back to the real world again. That's what people want to hear, right? I mean, it's all about dogs and kids. I'm getting back to local and family and fun. You could actually have special channels, am I right? And have that come up.
That's the plan. Absolutely.
All you have to do then is train your audience through your pages or your products to know how to call for this. Is that hard? I mean, when you think about what happened in Arkansas, I mean, you basically have a newspaper that stopped the presses and trained everybody how to use an iPad. Right. This is something that can be done, right? You could even take someone who's elderly, and teach them how to call up your stories, correct?
Well, it's interesting you say elderly, because we'd be careful, because I guess I qualify as a senior citizen now.
So do I, right?
Just count on my readers. Absolutely. So we've trained our readers to go to our website and receive and open our newsletter every Thursday morning, because we've developed a thing called Events This Weekend. And over the past couple of years, that's grown exponentially. We also know that our average reader is 55 plus. 72% of our traffic is mobile. So we know they're on this device. So now we're just pushing them to a new platform, a new app to consume their news. So absolutely, yes, they're trainable.
Kristen, you having the same experience? What's your audience like? What's the feedback like? How are you educating through your platforms to get people to start using this?
Well, we've had the feature turned on for a while now, several months, but just actually having it feed into Buzzsprout has been the latest development that I feel like is really making it more evident of what we're doing. So like it's more obvious. You go to our website and now those articles are feeding in that podcast form. So we're kind of still studying it to see, but it has definitely launched it into like seeing the numbers and seeing an audience grow, and to be able to see all of that visually. We're getting that data now. I see it only just growing from here. So, and it's helped us to, because of adding the Buzzsprout feature, having them automated into that, because we've added that, it's helped us to envision more sponsorship opportunities. More opportunities are there. So we're taking it to our advertisers and just growing the different levels that we can offer and the different audiences we can help them reach.
So, I mean, you have a digital team of 15. I'm just kidding. You have this entire process automated. Am I right? From soup to nuts. All you have to worry about is crafting the news and selling the advertising, and then everything simply uploads and goes where it's supposed to. Even the push to this Buzzsprout happens dynamically as well when it's supposed to happen, Kristen?
Yes, it's that automatic. So we can keep doing all the great things that we do and be able to offer this cool feature. And, you're building new audiences this way too, because, this is a new generation, even though, like you were talking about, older generations also using podcasts now. But I would call it something that's, it's more new generation. They like to hear things. They don't maybe have the time to read as much, so they may tend to just go and click play and listen to it.
Well, every automobile that's being manufactured now is being manufactured with voice of some form. I see the commercials now. Some are saying we are automatically Alexa enabled. Now there's one that's saying they're Google enabled. Either way, you're pushing to all, correct me if I'm wrong, this Buzzsprout, or we use Libsyn, will push to all those channels. It's one way to get in there. So it doesn't matter what flavor people are using. You're providing the content that people may want on a local level. I see you nodding your head, Guy. You're with me on this, correct?
Absolutely. Again, what Kristen is doing, we're doing the same thing. And basically, we talk about revenue and automation. One thing this allows us to do is I can do more with the same amount of staff, and I can really train a specialized staff to do much more. Our staff size is similar to Kristen's, maybe even a little smaller, but we're publishing and distributing a fairly large amount of content to do that. And these automation processes developed by our hometown allow us to do that.
I don't know if we have the answer to this one. Jennifer's asking an interesting question. She sent it just to the panelists, not to the entire attendee list, but she says, if I pull in other content to our podcast, do I need permission? Our podcast copyrighted? I know that we have issues with people taking our content off of ENP, so I'm assuming it's similar, right? Matt, what do you know about that?
I mean, I would imagine, so they're asking about a specific downloading a podcast and putting it on your own podcast. I mean, it's still digital content. I would assume so.
Yeah, you'd probably need permission.
I mean, every now and then we steal a photo, I know, from Google Images we shouldn't use, but I'm not sure if that's great.